Hello there everyone, welcome to another video on the channel, welcome to another gameplay video, and this time featuring something that is not the Jagdpanther Tier 7 German tank destroyer, but in another World War II legend. We are in the M4 Sherman. This can be found at Tier 5 on the American tech tree, so we've got it fully upgraded by the time we played this game. Quite a tough tank when it's stock until you get it fully upgraded. If you're not a derp gun fan, which I'm not, then you know you get the 76mm gun right at the end of the grind, but it does help the tank to be a lot more usable in most situations in my opinion. But yeah, World War II legend, one of the most mass produced tanks in the world. This was the Allies' go-to tank in World War II. Now, it wasn't a particularly great tank. It was big, it was boxy, it didn't have very good armour, it burned very easily, but they could produce them in massive numbers, and it was reliable. It didn't break down, it was easy to maintain. In times of war, times of a world war, that's kind of what you're looking for in a tank. Is exactly what the Soviets did with the T-34 as well, whereas the Germans, they tried to get bigger, better armoured, heavier guns, and weren't able to produce the tanks in the numbers that they probably should have. Had they kind of just concentrated on producing the Panzer IV, it would probably have served them better in terms of trying to win the war. But yeah, history lesson over. We are here at Arctic region, and I have driven down into this position nice and early on in the battle. It is a tier 6 battle as well. We're a tier 5 tank. Now, the reason I want to get down here is because it's very good for sort of getting to this position here and spotting the tank destroyers up on the ridge. And really what I'm going to try and demonstrate in this game is that whilst it might be boring, spotting and having a little bit of patience is vital to helping your team win in some situations. So yeah, the tank destroyers love to sit up there, they get shots at your team, and if nobody can spot them, they're just getting free shots. So yeah, I wanted to get myself down into this position because it counters the opposite position from the other side of the map very nicely as well. Although you have a little bit less cover, so you see it at the beginning of the battle there, we had to kind of get down quickly. Only really want to try and get down into this position with a reasonably quick tank, because you will get spotted early and you will take a few shots. Luckily we managed to avoid any damage, but we did take a hit from one of the tank destroyers when we poked that corner there to reveal their position. So coming over here towards the base, that was the other reason I wanted to come here as well, because quite often in these lower tier games a lot of people are attracted to the cap as well, so always nice to be able to react to that if they happen to maybe flood the cap and try and end the game quickly. Although pretty difficult on this map given that the cap circle is well out in the open. But from here in the map we are able to basically get like a 360 degrees kind of view of the majority of the battlefield, and you can see we're starting to rack up some spotting ribbons, 8 of them already. And I'm not entirely sure what this little AMX ALC BIS was doing. Little OP tank in this kind of map and match up, and yeah, they've just run into the open and lost the entirety of their tank. Now, you're perhaps wondering, Wombo, why are you not spotting up those tank destroyers on the ridge? Surely they're very dangerous to your team. You are right, they are very dangerous, but the reason I am not to continue to keep them spotted up is I want them to get complacent. If I just keep spotting them up, they're just going to find somewhere else to go and we're just going to lock each other down. I want them to know that I am now in this position here, and then after a few minutes I'm going to go back down and spot them up again. Hopefully they're going to just be sitting back out there thinking they're safe, so I'll wait till I get unspotted. I think I do it here. I think I decide, you know what, let's go and possibly, maybe not, I'm sure I definitely go back to go and spot up the tank destroyers on this one, but yeah, this could be it here. Yes, so I've not been spotted for a while. The tank destroyers last knew I'm at the base cap, so I'm hoping, wonder if they've kind of got complacent, sneaked back into position there, have they? Let's go and spot them back up and see if there's maybe one of them sitting out in the open. There we go, T-78, not really sure what that is. We miss our shot, but the rest of the team don't, and very quickly, there we go, tank destroyer eliminated from the ridge. I think we got 800 spotting damage for that one as well, so very, very nice indeed. Exactly what I was wanting to happen there was, yeah, I wanted to kind of spot them up initially, get some shots on them, then leave them for a couple of minutes until they got complacent, and that would be enough for them to think it was safe to come back into that position. And as soon as they were spotted up, our team were ready from the opposite ridge to put the shots into them. But this one's pretty close. Each team has lost 5 tanks each, so definitely, you know, a decent battle going on here. We're 5 minutes into the battle as well. Enemy team just lost another tank there. We've lost another tank as well, so now down to 9 each. And then, okay, another the people disappearing off the bar at the top, left, right and centre. We're still getting lots of spotting damage. I think we spotted up a KV-85 as well, who was in a bit of an odd position for a KV-85 on this map. I'm not going to lie, but they've now been removed as well. So starting to get a little bit of an advantage. And yeah, just the patience here, because I think it's very tempting. You know, we're not really getting to shoot anything. I've done 122 damage. I've shot one shell into the KV-85, I think it was, but we've got 2,000 spotting damage, so we are being a valuable asset for our team. And you can see from the numbers on the top of the screen there, it's paying off. We're 2 tanks up. But as I said, you know, we're just being patient. It's very tempting when you're not being able to get any real shots in on tanks, and you see this from a lot of players, particularly down low in the tiers. You know, they always feel they've got to be shooting at something, so they always end up taking a risk and putting themselves into a bad position. And yeah, you can see there's a few tanks done that in this game from the enemy team, and they've been eliminated pretty quickly. So I'm just trying to be patient here, just waiting for my opportunity to get out of this position and try and progress the game a little bit more. And with only 6 tanks left, I'm starting to try and get a picture of where their tanks are on the map. So at this point here, I'm thinking, okay, right, there's nothing up there on the tank destroyer ridge. We've eliminated the heavy tank that was, well, we can see the carcass of it there just in front of us. Let's move up a ridge and try and get into a more forward position to try and spot up the enemy. So we've got a Swedish medium here. We're going to take a couple of swings at this one here. I think we get quite lucky. I think we fired a couple of shots here that I thought were reasonably well aimed, and well, that one didn't go anywhere near where I aimed, to be fair, but they're only at 8 hit points, so they are very close to being eliminated, but their gun is still in the game, and that still makes them dangerous. And it's now down to, well, it was down to 6 tanks each. We went from having a 3 tank advantage to now having a 1 tank disadvantage. So what I think you've probably seen there, we haven't really seen it, but what's kind of probably happened there is that our team's got a little bit complacent. We're 2 tanks up. Some of our tanks are maybe being a little bit cautious at the beginning of the battle. They're getting a little bit less cautious. They've moved forward, they've moved into the enemy team's line of fire, and they've been eliminated. But it's now 5 each on each team, each with an artillery, 1 tank destroyer, 2 mediums, and 3 mediums, so it's absolutely spot on level. So creeping forward here, we knew this Defiance was here from earlier on in the game, and that's not really a tank I'm particularly keen to come across. It's a Matilda variant, you know what they're like. Good armour on the front, fast firing, pokey gun. So we have the premium loaded for this one. I don't fire a lot of premium, but I think in this kind of situation, you know, against a Defiance, with the teams being so close together, it's definitely worth having that extra penetration to make sure we can remove that tank from the game without losing all our hit points, without having to really do too much aiming. The easy button, as I like to call it, the easy button. But we take a shot from a Hellcat that I know is hiding somewhere over in the direction that we're pointing there. We've got a Skoda T25 or T24 has moved up into position, but he's now pinned down by that Hellcat. So rather than, there's no point me trying to go round that corner there. We know he's in a bush somewhere. We know he's going to outspot us. He's going to try and find a different angle of attack, as both teams are now down to just 4 tanks as we reach the midpoint of the battle. So a good game of World of Tanks, this one. Far too many games end too quickly. This is a good even fight with both teams showing some good skills and patience. So yeah, let's say no, we're fairly safe here. I don't really know where the 2 mediums are. I know where the tank destroyer is, and I know where my favourite class of tank is going to be. Well, I thought I knew where it was going to be. You're going to usually be in that corner there, and usually you spot them up over the ridge, but for some reason he must have spawned there. One of these artilleries that just spawns and fires from where it spawns. Why they've not taken any cover. Now, I despise artillery. I'm quite happy to see them die in any way, shape or form, but yeah, this tank deserves to die, because why are you not right at the back of the map, below a ridge line, and able to have some kind of cover for when you get spotted? Just sitting out in the open there. Typical arty player. Spawn, shoot, click, bang, bang. I'm so good at the game, so good at fun shooting tanks that can't shoot back at me at the beginning of the battle. Yeah. If you've watched my streams, you know I'm not an arty fan. So we got spotted by the Hellcat there. Can we kind of get up to this ridge here? Can we actually have enough view range? Now I do have coated optics here on the Sherman. American tanks generally have pretty good view range. Can we spot the Hellcat? There he's there. And our Skoda T... In fact, it was the T34 actually that takes out the Hellcat there. I thought it was a Skoda. So we've still got 4 there, down to 2. We're thinking, okay, right, this is what it's looking quite good now, surely. This is going to be quite hard to lose, but we've got our artillery and a medium tank up there are under fire. One of them's gone, the Artie's gone. We've got the Valiant, so we have taken on our T, and he takes it to T34 as well. Now he's down to 2 mediums apiece. We've got some shots on the Valiant here, important shots here. That was an important shot, the tracking shot. We take the Valiant out with a couple of nice shells there into the side, and now we just have a 2 versus 1 situation. And we know it is the STRV 74, the Swedish medium tank that's left. And the last time we seen that tank, he only had 8 hit points. But, you know, if he gets into a sneaky position, if that's a good player, they're still more than capable of taking out 2 tanks. So what I'm going to do here, and this is, you should always do this towards the end of the battle, folks. In these kind of situations, always team up with your teammate. And if you're going to feed yourself to the enemy tank, at least feed yourselves together. That way you've got 2 guns versus 1, or 3 guns versus 2, and you've got much better chance of at least one of you get taken out. The other one should be able to get the kill shot in. So yeah, that's why I kind of went back the way, even though I knew the STRV was possibly in the opposite direction. I wanted to get with my teammate here and basically maraud the map together, and that way, as I said, if the STRV manages to ambush us, takes one of us out, the other one should be able to get the kill shot in. I've seen far too many games where a single tank has been able to pick off 3-4 enemy tanks because they've came at them piecemeal. So yeah, always kind of in these situations I would always recommend doing this. But Skoda T25 goes in, takes out the STRV who came towards the cap, and that was a nice little victory. So yeah, just a patient victory, nice and patient at the beginning, got ourselves into a decent position, managed to spot up the enemy tanks. We weren't getting any damage in ourselves, but we were getting a spot and we were being a useful asset to our team. And then when the opportunity arose, we were able to kind of progress the battle, progress the map, and start spotting up some of the other tanks, get some damage in ourselves. So we finished P2 on the team. It was actually the T34 that took out the Hellcat. It takes P1 in this one. And our actual, the Skoda T25, who stayed alive at the end of the game, didn't do a great deal of damage, but you know what? Gun was still in the game, makes them a valuable asset to your team. And what turned out to be a nice little victory. But here, a little bit of bonus footage for you here as we are getting spammed at by 2 artilleries. This one's pretty much over, but we managed to decide, you know what, let's take out the Artie. We found this little gorilla, another little gorilla. I wonder if it's the same player actually, I never even noticed the name. Sitting out in the open in this one. His teammate, his little Artie scumbag friend, is trying to shoot at me the entire time. We see the arc shells coming in from the other one, in behind the gorilla here. And it's no problem taking him out. Here comes an arc shell in, missed my friend, and we are about to die. We try to get a shot in the SU-85. We're taken out by a T-34. But yeah, a little bit of bonus footage of taking out an artillery, which is always a nice way to finish a video. But I hope you've enjoyed that one. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.